Take your time.
Look at me. Look at me.
I stay up with fast talking, so we're trying to slow it down for y'all. But I'm gonna do 3 pieces for y'all today. You know, the first one is basically a lot of people in this world that wish they had children and can't have children. And there's a lot of us out here that got children, we don't appreciate the ones we have, or we're not being the right type of parents that we should be, or the right examples. So this first piece is called One Sweet Child of Love. You could have your wealth and riches and all the things many people seek. Position, power, and success, and the fame you long to keep. You can earn as much as you wish and reach a status high above. None of these things can equal having one sweet child of love. So many take for granted this blessing from above. Babies having babies, not knowing how to love. Foster homes overcrowded and adoption rates are low. Kids crying for their parents and wondering what did they do wrong. Why don't they have a mom and dad and a place they can call home? Nothing can compare to having one sweet child of love. This is the greatest gift from above. Little arms that hold you tight and a kiss so soft and gentle when you tuck them in at night. A million precious questions, and each story often rated. 2 eyes so bright and smiling, and a darling tousled head. God has never matched the goodness of a heart so full of laughter, spreading sunshine every place. A child to hold and cuddle, 'tis a gift from God above. And the world is so much brighter when you have one child to love. This second piece is about how we always try to give our children everything their little hearts desire. But that ain't what God wants us to do. God wants us to give them Him and His words and teach them how to love the fellow man as much as they love Him and as much as He loves us. And we always try to show our kids that we're the perfect example. Ain't none of us perfect. We're the farthest thing from perfect. The only person that's perfect is God. So we need to show our kids that we make mistakes too.
All right.
And it'll be easier for us to teach them if we can show them that we are imperfect. Or as Daryl often says, that we're perfectly flawed.
That's right. This
one is called Cherish but Do Not Hinder.
All right.
Remember that a child is a blessing sent from heaven above. Value the seed and give them plenty of love. Don't try to mold them into the image of yourself, your father, your mother, your sister, or your brother. You see, each child is an individual, and you must allow them to be themselves. Don't crush them when they fall, and don't expect them to live up to your expectations.
That's right.
And never compare them to others, and never shatter them because somebody else has achieved more than they have. Remember, anger and hostility are natural emotions. Teach them productive ways to vent so their feelings won't turn violent, because we all know how that can end. Spare the rod and spoil the child. So discipline them with firmness and reason. And never let your anger take control. Always be fair, or you will not lose their respect or love. Make sure the punishment fits the crime. A child needs spiritually rooted parents to keep them on the right path. Never give your child everything their little hearts desire. Teach them now the thrill of earning and the joy of achieving. Grant them the greatest of all satisfactions, the pleasure that comes with the personal accomplishments. Don't set yourself up as the epitome of perfection. It's hard to play that role 24 hours a day. It's a lot easier to talk with your children when they know parents make mistakes too. Quit making threats and anger and promises you know you can't keep. Because to a child, a parent's word means everything. Please don't allow your child to lose faith in you, because it will allow them to lose faith in others too. Teach them how to be self-confident and independent. Let them know a useful life is a blessing.
All right.
And a life of ease and pleasure seeking is empty and meaningless. Quit trying to shelter them from every blow and disappointment. Adversity strengthens character and makes us compassionate. Let them learn trouble is the greatest equalizer. Teach them to love God and all their fellow men. Don't send them to church alone. Take them to church and sit through service with them. Children learn from example, so telling them something is not teaching them. Give them a deep and abiding faith in God, and it can be their strength and light in this dark world. Pray for our children and train them in the path that they should go. This next piece is called God Said No. We often ask God for so many things, and we feel like he's not answering our prayers, or he done forgot about us, or the prayer not being answered the way that we want it to be answered. So this is basically explaining why you ain't getting in, basically. I asked God to guide my kids' paths. God said no. Their path, they must choose. I asked God to spare my kids' pain. God said no. Their suffering draws them apart from worldly cares and brings them closer to me. I asked God to give them strength to deal with what life has in store. God said no. Their strength they will gain from the trials they must endure. I asked God to get them in church. God said no. That choice is not mine or yours. I asked God to take away their pride. God said no. It's not for me to take, but for them to give. I asked God to give them patience. God said no. Patience is a byproduct of tribulation. It isn't granted, it is earned. I asked God to give them happiness. God said no. He gives them blessings. Happiness is up to them. I asked God to make their spirits grow. God said no. They must grow on their own, but he will prune them to make them fruitful. I asked God to give them all the things that they may enjoy life. God said no. He gives them life that they may enjoy all things. I asked God to help us to love others as he loves us. God said, my child, you finally got it. You finally understand.